Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua and I'm so glad you made time to join me today. If you are new on this channel, please consider subscribing. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. In this video, I have two fragrances, one by Lattafa, which is Ansaam Gold, and one by Alhambrah, which is Reyna, which have both been reported to be dupes of Parfum de Marly's Oriana. I'm saying reported because I have not really sampled Parfum de Marly's Oriana before, so I'm coming to speak to these fragrances as they come and just compare them because they have some obvious differences as well as some similarities. And there's one that I prefer over the other, so by the end of the video, I'm sure I'll just let you know which one I prefer over the other. So I have had this one the longest, which is Ansaam Gold. I think it's been in my collection for about 2 months or a little over 2 months, and I recently picked this one up. I didn't really want to do this one, but I guess did it for you guys because I already have something that I feel, really serves me right when it comes to a dupe of Parfum de Marly's Oriana. Although I've not tried that, I've heard so many good things, and from what people who have both Oriana and Ansaam Gold have reported, they claim it is quite close. I got this one and I super adore this one. It is a very lovely, girly, creamy fragrance in my opinion that I would highly recommend. However, I was just curious about this and I picked it up. To me, I would simply describe these two as a very creamy, fluffy marshmallow with some whipped cream and a prominent orange note or orange blossom note or neroli note. Upon initial spray, Ansaam Gold gives me something incensey and a bit smoky. It is not a very obvious smoky nuance, but if you pay attention, you get it. This upon initial spray is much more effervescent with that bergamot, grapefruit and mandarin orange as compared to Ansaam Gold. This one is a bit smoky and a bit incensey, and that is missing from Reyna, so that is a major difference you pick up from initial spraying. However, when they begin to settle, Ansaam Gold becomes much more dense, much more creamier, fluffier than I perceive in Reyna. Although you get that marshmallow fluffy whipped cream nuance in this, it is not as much as you get in Ansaam Gold by Lattafa. They both have similar vibes, but those differences are clearly there. To me, Ansaam Gold is much more thicker, much more richness than I see in Reyna. Although I would say these two are for all year round, I will sort of categorize this one for the summer months since it is quite lighter as compared to this, and this one for much colder autumn, winter weather. This one, Reyna, also comes across as much more fruitier as compared to Ansaam Gold. To me, the focus on this one is the whipped cream, the fluffy marshmallow, and some musk, which makes it a bit powdery. They are both quite powdery, but this is the focus on this. And then the orange blossom also, is quite prominent in it, but it's not as prominent as what I perceive in this. I think the orange blossom in this one is much more prominent and makes it much more citric than how this one is. This one is much more of a concentrated, creamy, fluffy marshmallow with some whipped cream, and then you perceive the orange blossom. Whilst this one is more of the fruity accords, and then it is mixed with the fluffy, creamy marshmallow, and the ambrette, gives it a bit powdery vibes. Although they are both reported to be dupes of Oriana, which I do not have an idea what it smells, they are quite different. They take a little bit of a different direction. This one maintains a very fruity, a much more effervescent, a much more lighter version, whilst this one is a very intense, thick resonance with some incensey, smoky nuance to it. Aside those differences, the performance of these two are quite at par. I think this one gives me about 6 hours, whilst this one gives me a little over 6 hours, especially on skin. On clothes, they can do about 8 hours plus. But I think it doesn't really fill up any room. Upon initial spray, it is quite potent, especially this one, but it is not one that is like a room-filling beast mode fragrance. At least not to me. They both do not leave any intense scent trail. However, it lingers quite beautifully. It lingers quite beautifully, especially on skin. Even after the first 2-3 hours when you can really perceive it, after that, you can really also enjoy it as a skin scent. These two are not necessarily skin scents, but they don't really fill up any room. But you get your money's worth when you are looking for performance, projection, and it's giving you compliment. They do all of these for you. They are very girly. There's nothing masculine about this. I don't think this one is like for men. To me, I don't think I will recommend this one for men. However, if you feel confident enough to rock this one, because it's quite a different take on fragrances that I have come across. It's not like anything that I have come across in like a long time, so I'll give it to the scent profile when it comes to being quite unique in terms of an edible gourmand scent. Reyna is a bit playful as compared to Ansaam Gold. This is also quite playful, but when you compare these two, this one has some lightness and some effervescence, whilst this one is quite, much of a darker version. So let's say this one is like an effervescent version, whilst this one is a sultry, darker version of Reyna. I think even with these two in the air, they smell about 85% similar. You can really pick up some differences here and there, but to the one who doesn't know much about these two, it is going to be just the same scent profile. They are quite different in a lot of aspects. This one is a bit more lighter, whilst this one seems a little more intense and dense. The orange blossom in this one is much more pronounced than it is in this one. So this one is a bit more citric as compared to this. Since I have not been able to sample Oriana, I will not be able to say which of these two are closer to the original Oriana or even Love Don't Be Shy by Clean. They have been reported to be dupes of those two fragrances. If you are someone who cannot really stand that smoky, incensey vibes, then I would recommend Reyna. But if you think you want something more complex, much more complicated, much more, with some character, then I would advise you take Ansaam Gold. There's some richness and some depth in this one that this one lacks. However, they are both really amazing fragrances. A few months ago, when I only had Ansaam Gold, I hyped it simply because it's a great fragrance. However, there's a new queen in town. If you ask me currently, I would choose Reyna over Ansaam Gold. Not because this one is not good. I will still have this one in my collection. I'll use one of these as a backup of each other. I'm not decluttering or letting them go because I love them both. However, I guess there is a light effervescence to this one that is not in this. This gives off a very mass appealing vibes as compared to Ansaam Gold. Ansaam Gold is quite complex with that incensey, smoky nuance it has, although very beautiful, very smooth. However, I guess Reyna has sort of perfected Ansaam Gold, in my opinion. There is something in Reyna that really, screams perfection to me. It's like Ansaam Gold has been perfected. After all, it's by the same house, Alhambrah and Lattafa. So probably they were sticking to perfect Ansaam Gold. So this one has sort of done that for me, in my opinion. I guess this one is like much more smoother, much more of a mass appealing one as compared to this. I think I have seen one or two people who have expressed their dislike for Ansaam Gold. However, I love it. But if I didn't have Ansaam Gold, I would still have, if I didn't have Reyna and this is all I knew, I would have really, recommended it over anything in that, Parfum de Marly's sort of dupes. But after receiving this one, I think I'm gearing towards this one much more than Ansaam Gold. I would still highly recommend Ansaam Gold. It is a very brilliant fragrance. Honestly, it has some complexity that a lot of people will also appreciate and also prefer over Reyna. But if you are starting out and you want something which is much more of a mass appealing one, then go for Reyna by Alhambrah. Reyna is also fairly new to me, so I will let it sit to macerate and then I can give you an update in one of my life after maceration series. So hopefully I'll be able to give something more positive than I'm even giving now. But for the meantime, even upon first wear, I've had like a full day's wear with this one. It is amazing. So that is all I have about these two, Ansaam Gold and Reyna by Alhambrah. This one is by Lattafa, sister company is just, securing the bag. So that is all I have for you today. And I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you so much and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.